Didn't show anything? So maybe this is HDMI. Let me come. The name of the machine, right? So this is the IP address of the Linux machine where we are going to log in, and I have given a name RedHat. You can give any name you like. Okay. So now I will save it. So the next time I will click on RedHat and I will go to this machine. So I saved it. So now it's already loaded. Otherwise I will say load. Now what I will do? Now I want to change the appearance and all, right? I want to show you as it is. If I log in, what will happen, right? So you just say yes. So this is my size of the font, right? My fonts are very small, right? And the black screen you cannot see, right? It's not very clear for you, right? So I will log out from here again. Then I start PuTTY again. This is the application you can download from internet. You go to Google and say PuTTY, you will get this. Then you just download on your desktop. Okay. So now I will say this is what I created. So I will say I load. Okay. Then I go to say for example appearance. I want to change the fonts. I will use Lucida Console, bold, and I will make the characters say 14. So it's big. Okay. Then I will say OK. Then I will go to colors. I want the background to be white, so I select this. Then I will say open. Where we came. Okay. Then I will say I have to save it. So I will go to session. Then I will say save. Okay. Open. Then we got it. Okay. Okay. So now we will log in into what machine?
Server.
Linux server. And I clicked on what I did. I will do it again. Let me close it. Okay. So I started the PuTTY. Okay. Then I said RedHat. And then I said so I have to log in. So I got the login screen, right? So what is my account? Don is there everywhere. So you log in as Don. Okay, first time, right? And then what is my password? Open boot. They know my password better than me, right? Okay. Open boot. Open boot. This is my password, right? So I logged in as Don and I gave a password. Then my prompt is showing a dollar sign, which is my dollar sign is my prompt, right? So from this prompt I understand that I am a regular user. By default, if I see a dollar sign, by default it is for regular user. Okay. What can I do as a regular user? Tell me. What are the authorizations or permissions we should give to a regular user? Regular user should know where he is now, right? So how will I know where I am, in which directory I am? PWD. So I am in this directory. So when I log in, I went to this directory automatically. So this should be my home directory. So what is the home directory for Don? Home Don, right? Because by default, when a user logs in, if he has a home directory, he will be automatically will be in his home directory, right? And I want to see my ID, identification. I should have authority to see that, right? So I have authority to use this command, ID. So what is my ID? My ID is Don. What is my user ID? 501. And don't worry about the others. Okay, I belong to some groups also, right? I belong to some group. What group I belong to? So when in Linux, when I create a user, it automatically creates a group also under the same name and put this user in that group. Okay, so I am Don. Sorry, actually first time root logged in and root created Don. And when Don was created, a group called Don also was created. And this Don is assigned to that group called Don. Okay. Yeah. So I'd like to see what I have in my home directory. So what is the command to see what I have in my home directory?
List.
List. So that is ls. Okay. So what are the things I have? I have all these things. Some I see in color, different color, right? So what does this blue color mean? Pardon? Folder. It's a folder. How do you know it's a folder? You guessed. You guessed. But there are different colors coming, right? So this is a regular file. So I see this in black. Okay. Okay. You want to prove that this is a folder. Okay. So let me type ls minus capital F. The same command. I am modifying a little, right? I am modifying a little. So I said ls minus capital F. So it will show, if I see a slash after that, then that is a directory. So this is a directory. All of them are directories except for this one. Okay. Okay, so I saw a file there, right? So I want to know what type of file this is, right? So I type a command called file. File is a command, right? And the name of the file. So I don't want to type. So I highlight this, right? Highlight this and right click. Then it comes there. Highlighting and right click. So it comes automatically. You don't have to type. Okay. So if I say file1 is a text file. Okay. I want to confirm that it is a directory. So file downloads, it says it's a directory. So two ways I can identify the type of file. What are the two ways? ls minus f and then file command. So you learned how many commands so far? pwd, id, ls minus f and this. So you may be going through some more commands. So when you go home, you like to download them, right? And then you want to go through. It's like notes, right? So in order to do that, I have to do something. Okay. So let me do that. So I will exit from here completely. So I have exited. Now I am going to PuTTY. So I am going to go to another machine, different machine. Okay. So I am going to go to another machine called Solaris 23. It's a Solaris machine. The reason why I go there is when people wanted to download anything from our network, they have to first log in into Solaris 23 and then from there they go to any other machine, right? So if I have to create a script which will record all I type, then I have to create that in Solaris 23. So it's easier for you to download. Okay. Easier for you to download. So let me go to Solaris 23. I will give the name, everything there later. Hope I also know that.
RedHat 100.
Okay. So I logged in. So it says that welcome to UWinPro. So welcome message for you. Okay. That is coming from a file called message of the day. We learn about message of the day. If you want to add more messages, you can add, right? So now my ID is red. Okay. So let me create a script, but I want to organize things. So I don't want to create script in the root directory, but I know that there is a directory called script. So I will go to the directory called script. Okay, I don't want to type full also. I'm a little lazy to type. Okay, let me say tab. So it will automatically complete. So command line. If I cannot remember the whole command, just first two characters, tab, right? Enter. So I am in that. So let me say ls and see what is inside that. All of them are always say ls minus f is easier. So all of them are files. Okay, let us make a directory for you because this is from another class. So I will make a directory. What is the command to make a directory? mkdir. So I will make a directory, and then what name do you want to give? Do you want me to give for this directory? You are starting today. So today is May 21st, and what is the year? 14. So I'll make a directory. So now for me to create a file in that directory, a script which will record all my commands, should I go to that directory and then create? I don't have to. Since you are beginners, let me go there. So I will say capital M and tab. Okay. 21. There are two Mays, that's why it didn't work. So if there are two Mays, then he doesn't know where to go, right? Yeah, there's another May here, right? That's right. So I went to that directory. So how will I check my current directory? Present working directory. So I saw that I am there. So I am going to create a script. To create a script, the command is script. So whatever I type hereafter will be recorded there. Okay. So I will say script and I will give the name May 21st today. Yeah? 21st 14. That's a script name. Okay. So I started the script. Okay. Now from here, let me log in into the Linux machine. Now I am in Solaris machine. How do I know that I am in Solaris machine? How do I know that? I have a command. And host name will show the name of the machine. Host name will show the name of the machine. But name says Solaris 23, but I can give any name I like, right? For Linux machine also I can give Solaris something, right? So name doesn't give me information about what operating system I am running. So if I want to really know the operating system I am running, there is a command. Don't worry about that command now. We'll learn about this command later, right? I just type uname. I just type uname. Uname. Okay. So it shows I am running Sun OS. Sun operating system, that is Solaris. Okay. Okay. So now I wanted to SSH to where? Which machine?
192.168.
Yeah. So as whom? Done. So I will say done at 192.168.0.61, right? Yeah, I did there. So it's asking for the password. So what is the password? Open boot. So I'm already there. So I wanted to clear the screen. How to clear the screen? Clear. Okay. So let me clear. So I have cleared. I'm already there now. Okay. So now I'm in my home directory, and these are the files I have already in my directory, right? And what else did I do? Right? ls-f I did learn, right? ls-f. So it shows what are directories. Okay. I want to see the type of file. So I said file and then file1. Then it gave an answer, text file. Then it said, if I say file and then give a directory, it said it's a directory, right? So I can find out what is the type of file. So by two ways I found the type of file. One is by using file command. The other one is by using ls-F. I can also use ls-l to know the type of file. L means long listing. Long listing. Okay. So when I use ls, I saw that all of them are directories. D for directories. If the first character is directory, is D, right? It will show D or nothing. Nothing means it's a text file. This nothing, so it's a text file. Okay. So I know what is there now, right? So now I will say cal. If I say cal, I will print the calendar for today. And on good thing in Linux is shows today's date. In Solaris, it doesn't show today's date, right? Right. And also here I can say cal minus j. J for what? Juvenile, right? So I will see today is 141st day of the year. So I can know immediately. This I don't have in Solaris. Okay. Okay.
Really?
No, J you don't have, right?
Okay.
Okay. So we have some good commands, funny commands. So these are like developed by many people, so they add a lot of features into Linux. Okay. So let me clear the screen. So now for you to log in here next time, are you going to log in as Don? No, you have to log in as you, right? So let me create an account. So what is the command to create a user? What is the command? No, let them ask. What is the command to add a user? User? Add. What is the command to delete a user? User del. What is the command to modify a user? User mod. So you learn 3 commands within one shot, right? Okay. So now I am typing user add to see whether it will work for me. I am a regular user. Can I create another user? Yeah, so I cannot create another user. So who can create another user as at now? As at now, Superuser only. Okay. So if I say user add, it will say command not found, but it is a permission denied. It says here, right? In some versions, it says command not found. Here itself, it says permission denied. Maybe my path has that one. Let me check my path. Don't worry about what I'm typing now. I want to just confirm, right? Yeah, somebody has put a spin in the path. That's why it says that. Otherwise, it will say command not found. Okay. Command not found, right? Okay. Somebody has added this. That's why it gave that answer, right? Yeah. Okay. Forgot about that. So I have to become a super user. Okay. How can I become a super user?
Switch user.
Yeah. In Windows, you have to log out, right? Or switch user, right? You switch user in Windows, these machines, right? In Windows 2003 now you have to log out, right? What about Windows 2008? Log out. So here is su. So I want to become root, so I say su. Okay. If I say su, before that I want to show you something. So don't worry about that. Okay, I su. I'm suing. Su means what? Okay, you can keep it as super user in this case, right? Or can be switch user, right? So I said su. Then I gave the password. What is the password for super user? To keep it very confidential, we gave the password root. Okay. So now password is root. Okay. So I logged in. Okay. So what is the prompt you see now?
Hash.
Pound sign, right? So pound sign by default shows you have the power. You have the power, right?
Yep.
So you use root, use who as root user only when you want to do something as root user. Otherwise, you can misuse your power accidentally or purposely. Okay. So after your work is done, you exit from there. So my work is done, so I am exiting like that. Okay. Now when I su, did the computer give me any message? Any welcome message of the day? Did it give? No, right? And if I check my environment, it will be same like Don's environment, right? Say for example, I su again, then I gave the password, it didn't even welcome me, right? No message, nothing. That means I'm still using Don's environment, right? Now if I say user add, oh yeah, Don has user add, okay, it will work because SBN is in the path, right? Otherwise it won't work. It will say not found, command not found, right? So what I should do in RedHat is, if you want to get the environment of the user, you have to say su and then space minus. So now if I su and give the password, there is no message to display, that's why you didn't get a message, but you saw at least something different here, from here to here. At least my home directory changed. In this case, my home directory is still home down. Right here, my home directory is, what is my home directory now? What is root's home directory?
Root.
Root. If I check my home directory, root. So I am in root's home directory. If I have done the other way, I exit again. If I just say su and then say root, and if I see my home directory is home down. Okay. Where is Ram Kumar?
This guy is
He didn't come? Oh. So my home directory is still home down. Okay. But I am root. I didn't go to my root. That's why I didn't get my environment, right? So if you want your environment, you have to be the other way, right? But if you want to stay in the earlier environment, you want to still stay in like Don's home directory and do something in his area environment, then it's okay, right? But some commands may not work unless you give the complete path. Okay. Right. So I will escape again. Now I will su minus again. So I will give the password. Let me clear the screen. Now I am logged in as root. Okay. Okay. Done. What is the command to add a user? User add. I want to see all the commands starting with user, because I don't want to memorize, right? So I just type user and tab. So I have command user add, user dill, user info, user mod, user mount, user password, users, all these commands are not there in Solaris. Do you have Solaris user format? You don't have. You have a user helper in Solaris? You don't have. User info? You don't have. Right? So here more commands are there. So let me type user info and see. Yeah, but for user info you need the graphics. So you have to be in the console, or you have to run emulate graphics in this environment, right? Yeah. Some of the commands you have to have graphics, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I want to add a user. So user add. Okay. I didn't say anything. User add. And what is the name of the user? Okay. First name.
Azar.
A-Z-A-R.
H-A-R.
A-H-A-R?
A-Z.
Z-H-A-R. Right? That's all. That's it. I created a user. Right? I didn't say that give this home directory, nothing. Okay. Then I have to give the password. Otherwise you can't log in by default, I think. Right? You can't log in. In Solaris you cannot log in by default. And here also same. Right? So what is the password? So be careful when you create a user, when you are giving a password, always say password Azar while you are super user. If you just enter a password and enter, then you are changing the root password. Okay? So password and the name of the person and give a password. So I will say Canada 101 for you. Canada 101. You can change your password. 101. You are happy with the password?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you want us to change, we can change for you. How you also can log in and change, right? So we have changed your password. Right now we have created. Okay, now I want to see you. Okay, I created a person. Okay, I see. How do I know that he is there? Okay, tell me, give me some methods to check I really created you.
Users.
Pardon? How will I know that you have been created?
You have to check the users, all the users.
No, that's not that way. Okay, whenever a user is created, computer will update a few files. Okay? Whenever somebody come and register here, we will update certain files, right? So likewise, when a user is created, computer will update some files. So these are the files. Okay? So I will use a notepad for that. The first file which is updated is called etc. etc is a directory. etc is a directory. All the files which stores configuration information are in a directory called etc. What do you mean by configuration information? Configuration about whom? Users, user configuration, device configuration, service configuration, daemon configuration. All the configurations are in the etc directory. Right? In etc there is a file called password. So whenever a user is created, this file is updated. And also there is another file, etc shadow. These two files are updated. And in Linux, always whenever a user is created, etc group also updated. Always whenever a user is created, whether we assign him to a group or not. In RedHat, etc group also updated immediately whenever a user is created. Okay. So whenever a user is created, these three are some of the files which are updated, right? At the same time, now I am logging in. You are logging in as Azar, right? So when you log in as Azar, what are the three files which are checked? These are the three files. Okay. So when I create you, these files are updated, and some more files are updated. We are not interested in that. But when I try to log in as you also, these files are checked. Why I am checking password file? What information is there in the password file?
Password might not.
Your password is not there. in Linux, in this version of Linux, flavor of distribution of Linux. In some flavors of Unix, password was there, and some flavors still they have, right? So for that reason, they originally gave the name like that, right? It doesn't mean password is there. Okay. So what other information password file have? Username. Username means what? User login name. Login name. User login name. What else? Group ID. User's group ID. Okay, then user ID will be there. Then user ID second. Then group ID. Then home directory will be there. Then default shell will be there. No, it's not there. A placeholder for password. So we can say placeholder for password. And UID and then GID. Yeah? So these are the information. One is missing. There should be 7. Somewhere here, or maybe after home directory, description of the user. Okay, so he's a super user or accountant, whatever description you like to give. Okay, it can be used like is an alias name, like his alias name also, right? Yeah. So this is the information you have. So now you learn something new, right? So what is login name? What is login name? In his case, the login name is Azhar. What is placeholder for password? That means password is not here, but password is somewhere. But this is just a placeholder. Like we have a chair there, nobody is seated. It's a placeholder for somebody. So where is the actual password? It's in shadow file, right? So why do they have this? For backward compatibility and sideward compatibility with other flavors of Unix, right? Because if they want to say if this one has 8 columns, 7 columns, that also they prefer to have 7 columns like that, right? The order, right? So UID, what is UID? User ID. Every user is given a unique ID. User ID is so if suppose you are getting some permissions, the permissions are based on your user ID. You are logging in, everything is based on user ID. Whenever a person logs in, his information is loaded in the memory with the user ID, permission, everything, right? Whatever authorizations we can say, right? Yeah. Then GID, what is GID? Group ID. I can belong to a group, right? How many groups I can belong to?
Lots.
How many? No, not lot. How many?
First, one primary and
1 primary and 15 secondary groups. Okay. So this is talking about primary group or talking about secondary group?
primary.
This is primary group. This file doesn't talk about secondary group. Okay. Then description. So you can give a description to the user, for the user who is created, right? Home directory. This is the place the user will save their files. Okay. Which are not company data most probably, or temporary data. Okay. And default shell. What is shell? What is shell?
Shell is the interface with the hardware.
Okay. Yeah. Interface with the hardware or interface with, can the shell talk to hardware? No. So shell talks to kernel, yeah. So it's like this. For that I have to draw something. Say so we assume that this is kernel. Okay, kernel. We assume this is hardware, okay? So I will add text, this is hardware. So example for hardware. Example for hardware. Memory, hard drive, network card. What else?
Printer, keyboard, mouse, monitor, CPU.
That's okay. Okay. So we have a lot of hardware. Okay. Then hardware. Then so, can a human being talk to the hardware? Can you tell the printer print? It will print. Maybe in future it will print also. Maybe now. Okay. So, but directly we are not talking to that, right? So we should have something to talk. We should talk to the hardware through something, right? So I can't draw another circle. I don't know how to do it. So let me put here like this, right? So here I say I should have something called shell. Oh, I'm sorry, kernel. So kernel can talk to the hardware. Okay, but kernel can talk to the hardware. Can a user talk to the kernel? No. So I should have something else also. So I will have a shell. Okay. So through the shell, user or file system can talk to the kernel, then kernel to the hardware. Okay. So shell is an environment. Can I log in? When I log in into this system, did it create a shell for me?
Yeah.
It didn't create it. It gave me a shell, right? So what is that shell? That is my default shell. Okay. If I want to see that shell, I type a command called ps. ps will show the process. So if I check, my shell is what shell? Bash shell. So give me one example for a shell. Give me an example for a shell. Bash shell. Okay. Give me another example for a shell.
Corn shell.
Corn. Another. C. Then
T shell.
TSH. Then. So like that. We can, there are a lot of shells available, right? Who discovered corn shell?
Some corn.
Corn only discovered, right? So like that. What about you forgot the first important shell, right? Born shell you forgot, right? Born shell, right? Then this is called born again shell. Born again shell. So what is your default shell here? Bash. So what is the advantage of having a bash, using bash shell as your shell? Yeah, so if I say cursor up, I can see my old commands. That is one advantage. I can bring my old command, then I can change it and I can type something, right? So I can do command line editing, right? Then also if I don't know the full name of the command, I will type md tab. I will see all the commands starting with md. So that is another advantage, right? So, and also I can type history. If I type history, what will I see if I type history? All the commands I typed so far. I will see all the commands I typed so far up to a certain level, right? So these are the commands we typed before, right? So all these features are there in what shell? Bash shell. So it's a very friendly shell, and that is the default shell in Linux. Most of the flavors, right? The default shell in Solaris is Born shell. What happened? Okay, right? So we learned some commands only which will work. One command which will work only in Born shell, only in some shells. In example, one example is Born shell. What is that command? History. History doesn't work in Born shell. Okay, you want to see? Okay, how can I go to Born shell? No. How can I go to Born shell? No. To go to bash shell, you type bash.
Okay.
To go to Born shell?
BSH.
No, you just type SSH. Sorry.
CSH.
No, CSH is C shell. How do you go to Born shell?
Only
SH, yeah. So now what shell I am in? I am in bound shell. I am in bound shell. Bound shell, yeah. Okay. So can I type history now? Will it work?
No.
Okay, let me try. Okay, I type hist and I type tab.
Good.
It worked in RedHat. Okay.
In OS, shells are different also.
Yeah, but normally shell didn't have that feature. Let me see whether it's right shell. What is the number here? This is the process ID 24930, right? And this is the process ID 24861. Which is higher? 24930 is higher. So this is my current shell. It worked. Okay. Okay, clear. So I want to exit from that shell. What version they are using? 4.1? Maybe they added that. Okay, because this is done by all programmers, right? They would have added that feature, right? Yeah. Okay. So now I went back to bash shell. How did I go back to bash shell? I typed exit. For everything you want to go back, you type exit, right? Okay. So now I am in my root directory. I created a user. Now I want to create more users later, right? So let me do that later. So you know how to create a user. So and I said there are few files which are changed. First file is etc password and the second file is shadow. So what information is in the shadow? Encrypted password. And first column is what?
Username?
Yeah, login name, right? User login name, comma, encrypted password. And what is the other one?
User ID.
You have user ID. User ID? What is the other one? Password change date, password expiry, sorry, change date, how many days, password aging, and when the account expires, all those information. About the account information, password, when is the account expiring, all those information will be there. What will be in the etc group file? Group information, list of groups and members of the group. So these are the different files we have, right? So let me open etc password, the first file. Okay, so I will say cat is a command to open a file. Okay, so cat is a command to open a file, right? Then I will say etc password. Okay, so I will see all these things. But what is the name of the user we created? Azar, right? But I'm seeing a lot here, right? So I want to see only Azar. Now if people are finding it difficult to search for him, right? So now let me clear it, and out of 100 people I want to select only one person in this example. So I will type the same command, but instead of cat I will say grep. So grep is a new command. Okay, grep whom Azar, AZH A or something, right? Doesn't matter, I don't have to give the full name, right? So I'm grepping Azar from that file. Earlier I said, okay, I had a bag of fruits. Then I asked you to open the bag and show all the fruits. Then I don't know what fruit to select. I'm interested in only one type of fruit. Then now I'm saying grep only that type of fruit for me. Pick me only that fruit. So it will show only him. So what is the first column? Is login name, and this is the placeholder for the password, and this is the UID, and this is the
Group ID.
see here group ID and UID are same. Okay, in Solaris it doesn't have to be same. We have default group, everybody belong to that group. Okay, and what is this one?
Description.
Description is empty. We didn't give any description to you, right? And what is this one?
Home directory.
Your home directory. And what is your default shell? Bash shell. By default it's given. Okay, by default it's given to you. These are the defaults. If I say user add -d, D for defaults, your default for every user is, no, apart from group, okay, your every user is home, right? I mean home, Azure, home down like that, right? And your shell will be this one, and yeah, those are the two main things you are interested in now, right? Yeah. Any questions? Okay. Any questions? Any questions? No.
And also with the cat, right? Cat etc.
Yeah. So if we want to open that file in a different way and see only Azure, I can open the bag. How to open a bag? How to open the file? Sorry. Cat. And then after that I can grep. After that I can grep. But cat is a command. Grep is a command. So how can I put grep after that? If I say grep and then say Azure, will it work? Then what I should do?
I should use pipe parameters.
Yeah. So I'm asking somebody to open the bag and open the bag fully. Then I got the output there. Then I will grep. Second command, I grep what I want to grep. So there are two commands. So I have to separate two commands. How will I separate two commands? To separate two commands, I have to use a pipe. I use a pipe. So what I'm doing by using pipe? The output of this command will become input for this command. Okay? You're asking somebody to bring water, and you're taking the water and making something else. So two different things, right? So this is one, this is to another one, and this is separated by a pipe. Okay? Enter. So now it shows only that guy. But which command is shorter? This one or that other one?
No.
Grep and then starting is order, and also you are using only one command, right? Right? So how can you open a file?
Using cat.
Cat? Or another way to open a file?
More.
Grep also. You can open a file using grep. If you want to display everybody also, I can display by using something which is common. Okay, you want to open the whole file using grep command?